Yo, diggity does, ladies and gentlemen, Kenji's World. How could I? This is why. Gotta have my headphones on because I literally just streamed a whole episode just then. And I look back and some YouTube video was playing in the background and fucking got recorded into the episode. So bloody darn, that's okay. We learn our lessons. I got some time. I'll recap. Good. I just did it. I'll recap what I said before. I was discussing the nature of... What was I talking about? Oh, man. I was just saying I had a big week. I went to Sunny Coast. If you saw the episode prior, I was up there for a business launch. Gold Brick Road. Done and done. Happy days. And now I've just come back home trying to organize things, get back into a rhythm. So that's why I was discussing systems again. You don't rise to your potential but fall to the levels of your system. And so James Clear quote, atomic habits, other things I'm sure, but atomic habits. But I've come home and I'm trying to get things organized as quick as possible so that I don't lose too much time in the in-between what I need to do, where I'm trying to go, what I'm doing. Lots going on. I'll admit I got a lot on my plate right now. I didn't even want to do this episode realistically. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to be in front of camera. I felt slowly imposter syndrome starts to arise, and I find it challenging because I think I'm just an effing loser, or that I've got nothing to offer, or I'm not going to say anything, or who am I? And realistically, the great thing is I'm not here to share anything great. If I have any cool insights, apart from like this Solana, $184 USD, but he's pumping. But if it's nothing clear, I'm just here to dump my brain and put it out there because I just want people, or whoever is watching, for you guys who are watching, to hopefully not feel like you're alone in this wild ride of humanity going towards Chapel Perilous and an event horizon where there's no turning back, which I believe has already happened in one way, but we are heading towards somewhere crazy and a future that I cannot really anticipate, because so much of the future that I thought was going to happen is already happening. Flying cars, jetpacks, and crazy ass things. But what I've been learning, what I've been going through is just my communication, opening up to my partner opening up to me, being there for each other, strengthening our relationship through communication, and just staying in that place where it's vulnerable, where it's painful sometimes. You're really having to open up deeper parts of you. Now, that was what I was talking about before, is feeling, or I'm asking you guys, do you maybe feel this right now? It's 28th of July. If you watch this again another day, how you feeling? How you going? What's going on in your life right now? What's arising? Is there challenges, adversities? Can you see if they're new challenges and adversities because you're breaking through the old mold? Or can you see similar patterns arising time and time again, coming to the surface, like spirit is pushing up everything up into you, and then it's trying to purge, is how I see it. It's trying to purge. Does it purge? I think that's up to us. Do we hold on? Do we let go? Or do we allow? Do we accept it for what it is as past habits and behaviors? Deep-rooted pains inside of our life? Can we let go? Can we move forward? That's where I'm at the moment. Just trying to take positive steps towards my life. I smoked too much weed over the last week, and I could just tell how much I am kidding myself about how I want to smoke or how I want to do these things. I don't want to be high, but I just appreciate the... just that feeling, man. It's all I really want from smoking. Just that feeling. But I don't want to be high. I don't want to smoke cigarettes. It's all too much for me. So I realized, and drinking as well. I drink. in social situations, thinking it's like, oh yeah, it makes me a bit more loose, but I'm already loose, as you can see. I'll talk about so many things, but then I fall into the social situation. It's like, oh, I'll have a drink, or yeah, sure, why not, blah 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 blah. Like if I get drunk, sure, that's a different experience than having a drink or two. I don't know. I used to get drunk all the time. I used to love just crossing that threshold and being a rah, something very different, but it comes at a price. Borrowing happiness from tomorrow. And I'm just noticing how much I lie to myself because I have so much energy. I have so many practices. I have so many things to do. I have so many things I can use to regulate, yet I fall victim to the things. And these are my old habit patterns. My old habit pattern, I think a deep one, is not accepting myself as a gifted man and going and just reverting. I think I talked about the other day of how the Buddha described there's 4 types of people. People go from darkness to darkness, darkness to light, light to darkness, light to light. And so that darkness to light is this kind of a hero's journey, but then this light to darkness, you would think, who would go from light to darkness? Oh, it happens. When sometimes I feel in my own life, when so many good things happen, but you make so much progress, but then progress gets to this point where you were like, oh my god, so much new. I'm living in such a land of new that this new can be aggravating or uncomfortable, unsettling because you're not used to the new. And this new could be life going really, really well for you, right? So don't think you're anything weird if this does happen to you, but I'm just explaining where it can also happen where you're like overwhelmed and you have a tendency to self-sabotage because it's familiar, because success and to succeed is to move forward in new terrain. And I used an example before when I was filming this video of if there is an already walked path, it's a simple pathway. It's already there. And I was discussing the nature, so I will get back to this. I was just discussing the nature of how there's this self that needs to be kind to myself, of course, but not enable the self, not continuously go through the oh, I fucked up. It's like, it's okay, man, just make it better. And then you make it better, and then you hit that point where you think, oh my god, it's new, and then you self-sabotage and you think you don't deserve love, you think you don't deserve all these good things. I know it's strange, I'm strange, whatever, but you go back to that state and then you continue this cycle because it's a familiar cycle, and it's a painful cycle because you keep returning to this place you've already been before, and you think, oh yeah, keep going, good, improve your life, and then you hit this point and then you fall back again because, and sometimes it's being convinced that at this point, I'm thinking at a good point, you're like, well, I've been doing so great, I could have one drink, or I could smoke a joint to celebrate this moment, yada yada, and it takes you down this pit of shit again, and you get caught up in your vices or a certain perpetual way of thinking. But the kindness I'm talking about, this is relating to the pathway analogy I was saying, that if you arrive on an island and you have to go from A to B, no one's ever walked that pathway, you need to cut that pathway out with machetes and uprooting things and creating the path to that point that you're trying to get to. That path is going to take so much longer, and I'm talking about a neural pathway here of creating a new path. That's going to take so much longer, and this is advice to myself, not to anybody else. I just need to keep hearing it from myself to myself. But this is the neural pathway that I need to be creating. And yes, it's a difficult path. You need to put more effort into this beginning than you do once it's cleared or once you've gotten through from start to finish. There's cycles of time. So I'm at this phase, and this is where I believe you need that kindness, where you're trudging new terrain. You just learn to be patient with yourself, learn to calm down, learn that it's okay to take your time, but don't stop, because if you stop, then nature will grow back. Let's say that timeline goes a little bit quicker, but nature keeps growing back, and the bush is going to start getting filled up again. So if you get too complacent and you start taking it too slow, the hare and the tortoise story, right? Just keeps doing dash and then rest and then dash and rest. If you think that bush continues to grow again and starts to then the pathway starts to disappear. You got to go back and clear it. Unless you just keep charging through, you got some people coming through from behind you, you make the path and you keep going back and forth again. And this is now talking about my systems. This is something I need. I'm not saying I'm preaching that I'm great at. I'm saying this is something that I need, are these systems. I'm trying to implement strategic systems of my planning, of writing down what I need to do, orientation and organizing between high priority, low priority. High priority right now being my needle movers towards cash flow, because I just need to get that cash flow going. This ain't even high priority, but this is a consistency thing for me that I need. So Kenji's World is here. But putting all these systems in place, how can we make it easier and easier? And what do I need to remove so this can happen? Blah, 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 blah. Kenji's Brain, Kenji's World. So this is where I'm at, from old to new. What's going on in your life? I don't know. Send us a comment, like, subscribe. If you subscribe, you hit the you'll hear the notification when I go live. Obviously, the time frame is fluctuating at the moment, just because my life is still fluctuating, still sorting it out. But if you want to subscribe to this, post a comment if you want to hear anything from me, or jump into the live chat when you go on to the lives. Talk to me. I can see it. If I go live from YouTube, I don't have 50 subscribers yet, so I can't, unfortunately, go live straight from YouTube. But luckily, I'm using OBS Studios to go live, so I can. And let me hear what your story is. Come on board. Let's engage in some conversation. Let's make it fun. But apart from that, Kenji's World is moving from old to new right now. Darkness to light. And light to light. This is this journey of having greatness. And I'm not just saying as a person, but life going great and just being overwhelmed and blown away by how great it is, and knowing that it can be great again. And stop fucking it up. Stop fucking it up and get out of your own way and just keep doing the thing that brings you joy. Keep excelling, keep being great, keep being amazing. Keep being love, man. Love to yourself, love to those around you, love to a higher purpose for yourself and for others. But just be it. You'll love it. I know you will. Once again, advice to myself, Kenji's World.